On August 15th, 1990, after spending weeks battling a series of forest fires 8,000 feet up in the mountains near the Idaho border, the Montana Indian firefighters were finally heading home to see their families.
Peter Whitford was one of the bus drivers that day.
There's 20 or 21 firefighters to a crew. Ernie had 2 crews. Now, that's a lot of guys to be putting on one bus, you know, especially all that weight, plus all their gear they put on there.
Everybody ready to go? Everybody ready to go. Okay, Ernie, let me get right back.
Ernie Heavy Runner was going to be driving the bus behind Peter.
We just told him, just drive careful because it's a long ways to the bottom and you're going to be using brakes just about all the way. I was about 500 feet ahead of Ernie. Ernie, he's been driving for quite a few years, you know. Good driver.
Crew Chief Michael Bullcalf was seated in the front of Ernie's bus.
We just pulled out, headed down the mountain. Nothing seemed wrong, you know. I heard a sound like these big trucks have when they step on the air brakes.
Peter's got a runaway bus. We've got to do something to stop it. Ernie, try and find another gear.
He was trying his different options. And he was messing with the wheel, and he was trying his emergency brake, and he was trying to gear down. But we had too much speed. The gears would just grind.
I could tell that he was picking up speed pretty good. It would just pop my mind if he could just hit the back end of my bus. While I got my brakes on, he can't go too far. I hate to see a bunch of them guys go over the cliff. I figured I could prevent something.
At the last moment, Peter moved over and Ernie drove right beside him. Everything happened so quick.
And I just kept crowding him over, and that come to my mind right then, and I wasn't going to let him go by me. I was right under looking over at him. Has to be all right. He's a little shook up. I don't blame him, you know. I'm fine.
After everybody got off, I told Ernie, let's go, Ernie.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't let his steering wheel go. So I just kind of had to take his hands off for him and stand him up and help him out.
Everybody out, Mike. Okay. Yeah.
Then I got out and looked the situation over. Never really dawned on me what we did until I got on the bus and looked the situation over the second time. Then I just kind of slowly fell apart right there. It hit me what happened.
I'd say it's as close as you can come to losing not just one, but a few lives.
2 years later, Ernie Heavy Runner and Peter Whitford still drive the buses that transport the Montana Indian firefighters. Both men were presented with an award by the federal government for their heroic efforts that saved 42 lives that day.
There's no doubt in my mind we could all die. Even if one of us lived, I know I wouldn't have wanted it to have been me because I wouldn't want to have to live with it the rest of my life. Pete is a guy that doesn't say very much, but usually gets the job done. He's a good person to know.
I think Peter saved us all, really. He's the guy that drove into us and pushed us into the cut bank.
The boys were thankful for what I did. They still think. Every time I see them on the street, they say, "You've done a good job, Pete. We're still walking around here."
Next.
It was important to keep the kids moving.